The moment the billionaire walked into the lavish mansion, he never expected a single decision to change everything about his family. His daughter, Lily, had been withdrawn for years after a tragic accident left her distant and fearful of the world. Doctors and therapists had tried, but nothing seemed to reach her. That's when he hired Naomi, a warm, determined woman who had faced struggles of her own but carried a light that could not be dimmed. Naomi entered the grand house with nothing but a small bag and a heart full of hope, unaware that the walls she was about to enter held more secrets than she could imagine. From the first day, Naomi noticed Lily's subtle gestures, the way her hands twitched when she felt anxious, the way her eyes searched for escape even in her own room. Most people would have retreated, intimidated by the challenge, but Naomi had a different plan. She began slowly, sitting at Lily's side without words, allowing the child to adjust to her presence. She never forced conversation, never demanded attention, just offered steady warmth. The billionaire watched this quietly, skeptical at first, his mind clouded with doubt from years of disappointment. Yet, even he couldn't ignore the tiny spark of curiosity that appeared in Lily's eyes whenever Naomi entered the room. Within days, Naomi began weaving little routines into Lily's day, reading her favorite stories aloud, sketching together, and even playing soft piano melodies. These small acts of connection were met with resistance at first, but Naomi remained patient. Slowly, Lily's walls began to crack. One evening, as the sun set over the mansion, Lily reached for Naomi's hand for the very first time. It was a small gesture, but it carried more weight than any words could convey. The billionaire, observing from a distance, felt a mix of hope and unease. Could this woman truly reach the child no one else could? Or was he about to discover that sometimes miracles take longer than expected? Naomi's influence on Lily grew steadily, but the mansion was filled with tension. The billionaire's staff watched cautiously, some skeptical of her methods. Yet, the more Naomi spent time with Lily, the more the child responded. Naomi noticed that Lily's fears were not just from her accident, they were magnified by the pressure of living in a wealthy but emotionally distant household. She understood that trust could not be rushed, and so she created a safe world inside the mansion where Lily could feel free. One rainy afternoon, Naomi set up a small art project in Lily's room. She didn't ask for drawings of perfect flowers or careful landscapes. Instead, she encouraged Lily to draw her feelings, whatever they were. For the first time, Lily's drawings were raw and honest: stormy skies, chaotic lines, and a little figure standing alone in the corner. Naomi didn't judge, she simply smiled and mirrored the child's emotions with understanding words. The billionaire peeked into the room, surprised to see Lily so immersed, so alive, yet he couldn't deny the ache in his heart at the sight of her loneliness expressed on paper. Then came a breakthrough moment. Lily, hesitant and trembling, whispered her first words to Naomi: "I want to play outside, but I'm scared." Naomi knelt beside her, holding her hand gently. "I'll be right here," she said softly. And for the first time in years, Lily stepped into the garden, feeling the rain on her face, trusting someone outside her parents' world. The billionaire watched silently, emotions swirling, a mixture of relief, awe, and guilt. He realized that he had been trying to force happiness into Lily's life through gifts and tutors, but what she truly needed was human connection. Naomi, the woman he had hired without knowing her impact, was doing what he could not. By the evening, Lily had laughed, a sound the mansion had not heard in years. The billionaire, still in his office, allowed himself a rare smile. He was witnessing a transformation, and the truth was undeniable: Naomi was not just caring for Lily, she was teaching her to live again. But little did they know, the real test of trust and courage was yet to come, and it would challenge everyone in ways no one expected. It was during the family's annual gala, a night filled with glittering chandeliers and perfectly rehearsed smiles, that the full impact of Naomi's presence became clear. The billionaire had invited the city's elite, unaware that Lily, who had always shied away from crowds, would attend. But Naomi had encouraged her gently, helping her prepare in a way that was empowering, not overwhelming. Lily arrived, her small hand clutching Naomi's, and for the first time, she walked into the room with confidence. Heads turned, whispers filled the hall, but Lily didn't run. She smiled, greeted people softly, and even danced briefly when a song played. The billionaire's eyes filled with tears. He realized that this transformation was not a result of wealth, tutors, or status, it was a result of love, patience, and belief, things Naomi had shown in abundance. As the night progressed, the billionaire approached Naomi. Words failed him at first. He could only nod, letting gratitude shine through his eyes. Naomi smiled gently, acknowledging the unspoken bond they had formed through patience, courage, and dedication. Lily, sensing the connection, ran into Naomi's arms and hugged her tightly. In that moment, the mansion that hadn't echoed with silence and fear was filled with laughter, warmth, and hope. The billionaire understood something profound: true wealth was not counted in assets or power, it was measured in the hearts we touch and the love we nurture. By the end of the evening, Lily's transformation was undeniable. She was no longer a timid, frightened child hiding in corners, she was a young girl ready to embrace the world. Naomi had done the unthinkable, she had opened a heart thought closed forever. The billionaire, watching his daughter shine, realized that hiring Naomi had been the single best decision he had ever made, and that sometimes, the people we least expect can become the most extraordinary forces in our lives. And for Naomi, it was proof that kindness, patience, and unwavering belief could indeed change a life in ways no one could imagine.